Hey YouTube, it's Little Rocker Cutie 2005, also known as Andre, here with ya. Once again, I'm chilling with the ever-present Buffyxenaman, also known as Chris.
I'm going nowhere.
And we are here this time to share with you some of my random collection.
And like I said in the video, for still, like one of the solo videos, we are still doing things together.
Yep.
We just have a lot to do, so we're going to divide and conquer.
Yep, we're going to be doing some solo stuff. As I'm sure some of you have already seen from Chris's stuff, I'll be putting some stuff up myself. I just gotta find the right times to film and everything. This house can be hectic.
Mine too.
But we're gonna start this random collection video first off with a couple things that came from Seanatonin, or my friend Sean up in Rawson, British Columbia. He sent me the PS1 game Twisted Metal 3. It's the greatest hits version, but I don't really care. I love Twisted Metal. And he also sent me an anime I've been looking for called Vexil. It's from the makers of Appleseed. Now, what I was told by him is that this was a zombie movie. But I looked at the synopsis and everything, and it doesn't sound like a zombie movie to me. But I'm going to have to watch it and find out. And I would also like to give a little plug to Sean's radio show, which just like his YouTube channel is called Seanatonin. It's on Saturday nights, 8 Pacific, 11 Eastern. That's 11 Michigan our time, but where he is, that's 8 o'clock. So, but it's on rawsonradio.com. You can go there and it'll have his playlists. When he's doing the show, you can listen to it on there. That's probably the best part because he does a lot of good stuff. He's got a really cool radio show. So, Sean, if you're watching this, keep it up and keep doing what you're doing because you rock, man. And I think I'm going to let Chris here do the first movie.
Okay. First movie on the list, or / pile.
Yeah.
Matilda. Okay, this is just basically a movie about this girl who is in this family who doesn't really like her. It's Danny DeVito,
Rhea Perlman's in there.
Rhea Perlman.
You might recognize Beth Davids from Army of Darkness.
Isn't it like Danny DeVito's wife?
Rhea Perlman is Danny DeVito's wife.
That's
yes.
Okay. They got divorced. Yeah. Who played the little girl? I can't remember.
Mara Wilson from Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah. So, anyhow, she is really smart, and they leave her at home all the time, all by herself, so she learned to fend for herself, and she started going to the library, and all by herself with a little wagon, come back a bunch of books, and finally, it picks up. He sells this car to his principal, who takes her to this really, really abusive school. And she finds out she is a telekinetic. It's a fun. It is.
It's a really fun movie. And I think what's cool is in this school that Matilda's going to, she gets the nice teacher out of the bunch.
Who turns out to be her niece. Not niece. Yeah, niece?
She's the niece of the principal, yes.
Who apparently was abusive to her as well when I was a kid.
Yep.
Because her father died under mysterious circumstances.
Yep.
She was like an ex-Olympian. Yeah, she's like, one of her main roles was no pigtails.
Yep. I remember the line too for when she was an athlete. Javelin, shot put, hammer throw.
Yep.
Let's see. First up for me, probably one of my favorites. It is 16 Candles with Molly Ringwald and Anthony Michael Hall. But this also has a lot of other great people that people our age might recognize, or maybe a little older. But basically, Molly Ringwald is her 16th birthday, and everybody in her family's forgotten about it. And she's going to school, and she's got the crush on like the really popular boy. But the only guy who will give her any attention is this real nerd played by Anthony Michael Hall. And I think everything between them is just hilarious. I love the part where they're talking in, like, I think it's the auto shop, and she's getting out of the driver's ed car, and then he turns to her and goes, "Can I borrow your underpants for 2 minutes?" And next thing you know, he's showing them off in the boys' bathroom to all these dorks, and all you hear a drum roll, and then he lifts the panties up, and all these geeks go, "Ah."
Isn't almost every 80s movie have like the girl in love with the most popular guy?
Yes.
But she ends up going with the underdog anyhow.
A lot of them had that.
It's like, I find it funny now.
Especially Molly Ringwald's movies. Those were like, she always got with like the outcast.
And now, fried green tomatoes. It's, well, Kathy Bates, Jessica Tanti, Mary Stuart Matterson, Mary Louise Parker.
Damn good movie.
It was like lesbian undertones.
Yeah.
About these two women and their friendship with fried green tomatoes.
It's more played out in the book.
I just haven't watched this in forever.
I know, I haven't either. It's getting about time for me to watch it.
The only thing I can really guess about it is that they fried green tomatoes.
That's where, because they served them at this cafe they owned.
I knew it was somewhere in there. That's all I remember. Oh yeah, the party scene.
Yeah.
It's on the party scene.
I don't know how to bat, and you don't drink either.
Oh yeah, but that's pretty much fried green tomatoes.
Oh, next up for me, another 80s classic, The Breakfast Club. Now with this one, you've got 5 kids, including, once again, Molly Ringwald and Anthony Michael Hall from 16 Candles. But you've also got Emilio Estevez, Judd Nelson, and Ali Sheedy. And I think this one's even better than 16 Candles because it's a great ensemble. It's basically one set that they get to run around. It's basically a Saturday in detention. These 5 kids, they come up with all these crazy things to do to kind of avoid doing this paper that the principals assigned them to do. There's like the scene where they're smoking pot. This movie was rated R back in the day. It's still got that R rating, but I think these days it would probably get like a strong PG-13. But I could be wrong. I don't know. This is just one of my favorite movies. It has been since I was like probably 12 or 13. I've just always loved this movie.
A Christmas Story. Of course, we all know this plays 24 hours on Christmas Eve to Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Which I never failed to watch. Not the entire 24 hours because I have to sleep.
I know.
But as we all know, what Ralphie wants for Christmas is
a Red Ryder BB gun.
Red Ryder 200 shot caliber action rifle.
I didn't know the name of it exactly.
It's on the back. Air rifle. It's so many classic scenes in here, including the infamous soap scene. Fudge, why did you say? Thought so. Did you know what your son just said? No, what? Ralphie! This week.
Over the years, I'd become quite a connoisseur of soap. I don't remember the part after that. Something about Palmolive.
It says Lysol's the worst, I guess. And then she like, who taught you that word? He lied. You hear from his father, he lied, so his friend. You know what? And then she goes to the phone and calls the mom. She's like, you know what your son, John just said? What? Not that word. You know where he heard it from? Probably his father. No, your son. What? What?
And the mom just hangs up the phone.
There was, this. But you really want to watch 24 Hours of DVD because the TV version cuts minutes out of there like it's nothing. And they did make a sequel to this.
I know.
pretty much the same characters, but I don't know where they got the idea from it, nor do I know what the premises is. I know I'll watch it.
It's supposed to take place during summer. I saw it once at a pawn shop over in Cadillac. If I'd had the money, I would have grabbed it.
Right? I guess. Well, I have to. I'll watch it once and see what it's like. But other than that, I just don't know if it would work as good as this.
It could be interesting, at least for a look.
I thought my favorite character in this was the mom.
Because there's the sequel to that one. There was one sequel to it before this new one. It was called My Summer Story, but I think they might have changed it. I think they changed the name to It Runs in the Family. I think that's what the name of it was first. Then it became My Summer Story, and now I think last month Christmas Story 2 came out.
Oh, there's a special edition of that one.
Yeah, that 2-disc.
And it has like the original narrator voice, which was not the person it was based off of.
The author.
The authors. It wasn't based off the author's voice. It was some other lady's voice. So I'm going to try to get that.
I'd like to have that one.
So, your move.
Alright. Well, next up for me is another personal favorite of mine and an 80s classic, Flashdance. Now, this is about the girl who's a welder by day and an exotic dancer by night, but what she really wants to be is a ballet dancer. And she falls in love with this guy who works at the welding place, and it's been a while since I watched this. I don't remember like every little detail, but it is one that I would highly recommend because it's a great story. It's an excellent soundtrack. I have the soundtrack on CD, but I need a new copy because mine's all screwed up. I've had it since like my freshman year of high school. That's actually when I got into this movie. I was like 13, and it was that summer before I started high school. And I had found this at one of the rental places, and it was the old VHS, so I decided to pick it up and give it a look because it was one I'd always wanted to see, and it was just one I really enjoyed.
Remember that lawsuit with Jeff Lopez?
Oh yeah.
Because of that music on camera?
Yeah, the I'm Glad video.
Yep. They were sued, the directors, producers, whoever sued.
Yeah.
No, they didn't sue Jennifer Lopez directly. They were thinking about casting her in the remake, but they sued the company that made the video saying they didn't get licensing rights to film it. I saw it once. It wasn't too bad. It was like damn close to like a infamous scene, but you know. You know the one scene that rips off now. Including Dance Moms.
Yeah.
Oh. Just as bad as Honey Boo Boo. Watch 10 seconds of that show, my IQ dropped 52,000 points.
That's why I've never watched it.
I forgot how to work the remote for 5 seconds.
Must change channel.
Where's up? No. What's a remote?
Yeah.
No. What's my name? Oh my God! I can't see.
Who am I? Why am I here?
Is that a tree? Of course, I look at the hamster.
Yeah.
He looks at me and says, "Ow, it! He saved my life." He climbed all that cage, ran to the remote, pressed the button. Then he switched over to DVD, put a DVD in, and I was saved.
I will bow to that hamster when that show ends, just like I bowed to Tar when the Jonas Brothers broke up.
It's an inside joke. Yeah, it's a very weird inside joke, but moving on. Because I feel my IQ going up after I watch History Channel. Ooh, thank God for History Channel. Problem Child. It's about a problem child, and it stars John Ritter. Oh, it's both of them.
Yeah, it's both 1 and 2.
Yep. It has like John Ritter and
Gilbert Gottfried
and other people.
Yep, Michael Richards is in the first one from Seinfeld. Lorraine Newman's in part 2.
It's been a long time since I've seen this.
I love those movies. I got that because of my grandma. She loved those movies. I mean, I'm the one that turned her on to them, but she loved them.
I just remember the party scene in one of those movies.
That was the first one.
And I don't know.
Where he's throwing all the big old presents into the pool, puts firecrackers in the cake so it blows up.
He's wearing a devil costume the whole time,
Yes,
too.
yes. That's the first one.
There was a cartoon for a while.
Yeah. There was also a third movie. But the original kid didn't come back for it. It was just made for TV.
Right? I just remember the cartoons being kind of stupid.
Well, the cartoon had the same kid doing the voice.
Right? The premise was kind of stupid.
That was the only thing I liked about it, was that it was the same kid.
Yep.
Alright, I got 2 piles here, so I'm just gonna go at random. Next up, I have probably the movie that turned me on to James Bond in the first place, and it's the first one with Pierce Brosnan. I think you know I'm talking about GoldenEye. Now, when I first saw this, I was not into James Bond, but once I sat down and watched this, I thought Pierce Brosnan made an amazing James Bond, and the theme song by Tina Turner is just awesome. This movie's got like non-stop action, just some of James Bond's most witty one-liners. I mean, it's just probably one of the best Bond movies of the later ones, in my opinion. I mean, they went for it and they got it right. I mean, Sean Bean, he makes a good villain in this movie. I don't care what people say about stuff like Silent Hill or some of the other stuff he's been in, like The Hitcher. I mean, I'm one of the few who thinks he was good in The Hitcher, but not many people tend to agree with me.
I agree with you. I agree.
I know you do. But
it goes without saying.
This is another one where he makes a really good villain. But it's one, if you like James Bond and you haven't seen like the Pierce Brosnan era, I would recommend them, especially GoldenEye.
Super Ninjas.
Oh gosh, I used to watch that a lot as a kid.
I saw it a few times as a kid.
I loved it.
Apparently Rod Snyder.
Yeah, a young Rob Schneider.
Ernie Reyes Jr.
Ernie Reyes.
And Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah.
Apparently, I haven't seen this in like, oh god, years and years.
It's been close to 20 years for me.
Something like that for me too, but apparently about these 3 players are ninjas and they surf.
Yep.
Leslie Nielsen's a bad guy. Pretty
much.
And they have to save the world.
They have to save this island because Leslie Nielsen's like this evil dictator, and they have to. They're like princes. They're like these long lost princes or something of this island. Well, Rob Schneider is not, because he's not blood related to him. I think he's just like a best friend or something like that.
Well, obviously, thank God.
But these two, they're brothers.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while, and I don't know. I'm gonna watch it again for a while. We'll see what happens.
I would. I loved it. I'm gonna go on with a little stand-up comedy here. First up, it is Whoopi, back to Broadway. This is the 20th anniversary of her first show on Broadway, which this also comes with. And I think this was a really cool set to have because I love Whoopi Goldberg. And I've not seen very much of her stand-up except for the show she did for Bravo called The Word According to Whoopi, which I thought was a really funny one. But this one and the original special, they're just both way funnier than that. I mean, I love having this set in my collection. I mean, if you're a fan of Whoopi Goldberg and like her comedy, like the stand-up, which you rarely get to see anymore, this is one to have, and I highly recommend it.
Sadly, the only place we really see her nowadays is on The View.
Yeah, that's because that's pretty much all she's doing.
With that witch.
Oh, Hasselbeck.
Amoral bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on.
Any Given Sunday.
I have no idea.
It's a football movie from Oliver Stone, but it's got a lot of good people in it.
Okay, goodbye.
Hey!
I just know it's football, and I don't watch football movies.
I haven't seen this in a long time, but all I can remember is like, Al Pacino, he's like the coach, And Cameron Diaz, like the new owner of the team, she's trying to deal with everything that the team's giving her. Jamie Foxx, he's like a quarterback or something like that.
Correct.
Like a backup, isn't he?
Oh, it's just QB.
Oh yeah, then
James Woods is a team doctor.
yeah.
Ella Cool J is Stones. Most of you. Oh well.
No, he's the running back
Uh,
with a contract.
just like I don't know, just reading the back.
I know I was trying to read it too.
Just don't know anything shit about this movie.
It's one I got because I like football. I'll give you some more comedy here, and we'll go with the original Kings of Comedy. Now, this is Spike Lee's movie. It's a concert movie, I'll call it that. And it's from when the Kings of Comedy went on tour. And the Kings of Comedy, if you can't tell, I'll get the glare off. They were Bernie Mac, Cedric the Entertainer, D.L. Hughley, and Steve Harvey. Now, these guys, you put them together, and they are just funny as hell. And I have to say, it was sad when the world lost Bernie Mac, because he's a funny dude, and I still love his comedy to this day. Bernie Mac, rest in peace, man. You will be missed.
Natural Born Killer Special Edition.
That's a damn good movie.
Okay, Oliver Stone, Robert Downey Jr., Tommy Lee Jones, Tom Sizemore, and Rodney Dangerfield. I have no idea what this movie is about.
It's one of them you have to watch a couple times to really get it. But it's basically about these two serial killers that go on a killing spree. They're played by Woody Harrelson and Juliette Lewis.
Yeah.
I think that's why I got it, because I like Juliette Lewis. But Woody Harrelson, he's good too.
Well,
The entire cast of that movie's good.
it's a 2-disc
Yep,
with a booklet.
thick one.
Well, I guess it's because they're thick booklet, because I guess a lot of booklets aren't this thick.
No.
How good is this? It's been recycled!
Yeah, one of them eco cases. I hate those.
We get it. You recycled them. Can you just do a little symbol in the middle or something?
Yeah, couldn't you put a little more work into the sturdiness of them?
Yeah, because these things tend to, if you accidentally step on them, go...
Yeah, they break.
And you go... for
Son
hours.
Of a bitch!
Oh, that's not the words I use, but go on.
Well, I got one more stand-up comedy here for you, and it is Dane Cook Vicious Circle. Now, this is a pretty good one from Dane Cook.
He's my lover.
I think he's a really funny dude. This DVD also comes with 2 different versions of the special. It comes with the regular HBO special, and then it's a 2-hour cut called the Dangerous Edition, and it's actually a pretty cool cut to have. I'm kind of glad that I found this at the pawn shop when I did, because I just scooped it right up.
Dane Cook's my secret lover. We'll get married this spring. In the cemetery. In cloaks. As my best man, you have to be there. Or at least get a catapult to shoot the fucking ring at us. Can you at least do that? I don't hear no, but okay.
I'm not going near that cemetery.
Yes, you will. Taxi Driver. About...
Very good movie.
It's an infamous movie with Robert De Niro, Jodie Foster, Sybil Shepherd, and a bunch of other people.
Yep.
This is also how Jodie Foster got her stalker.
Really?
Remember the guy who shot the president for Jodie Foster?
I knew about the guy, but I didn't know Taxi Driver was the reason.
He felt, apparently, what I understand, he watched Taxi Driver, fell in love with her, and to prove he loved her, he tried to shoot the president.
Hey, somebody's shooting at us.
Dumb ass.
I believe that's what the story is. So, look it up. Correct me if you have to. I don't mind. I'm used to it. I can be wrong a lot of times. Trust me. But this, I never saw it, so I had
It's a good movie.
to take his word for it.
Next up for me is a movie from the late great Tony Scott. It's actually his follow-up to 2004's Man on Fire with Denzel Washington. This movie's got Keira Knightley and Mickey Rourke along with a bunch of other great people, and it is the very underrated Domino. Now, this is actually kind of a true story, and Keira Knightley plays Domino Harvey, and she's the most notorious bounty hunter in Los Angeles. I think the real Domino died shortly after this was made, or maybe before. But it's a really kick-ass, really action-packed movie. And if you like stuff about bounty hunters, this is one for you. But I would also say, if you like Tony Scott and his work, check this out. Because I feel it's a very underrated movie. And it's one that not a lot of people talk about anymore, and I don't know why, because it was one that I enjoyed, and I'd like to see more people talking about this movie.
Full Metal Jacket. That's all I know about it.
Ah.
Vietnam.
Yeah, basically this is a Vietnam War movie. The first hour you get the drill training with this really, I don't know. He's like a real strict kind of asshole, always screaming, but he's played great by Arlie Ermy, who you might recognize from Michael Bay's 2 Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. He was the sheriff in those.
Oh, there we go.
But you also get people like Matthew Modine and a young Vincent D'Onofrio in here, who at the end of the training, well, I won't spoil it, but if you've seen this movie, you know what happens to Vincent D'Onofrio's character, so I'm not going to give it away for those that haven't seen it, but this is one that I truly enjoy because I like movies about the Vietnam War.
My cup of tea, so I probably never will watch it.
Now I'm going to get into a little horror here with the remake of The Crazies. Now, I got into this movie because my little bro, Lil Craze 25, told me about it. So, Lil Craze, shout out to you, buddy. And this movie is basically a remake of the 70s movie by George Romero, where there's a toxin in the water and the citizens are turning into killers. This is a really cool movie for a remake. It's got Timothy Olyphant, who you might recognize from Scream 2. He was the killer in there. And then it's also got Rhoda Mitchell, who you might recognize from stuff like Pitch Black and Silent Hill. But I think this was a really cool movie for a remake, and I really enjoyed it. I would highly recommend it to those of you that haven't seen it. This is a really good remake, and it's one I enjoy, and it's one I love watching again and again. I can't help it.
What'd you put in this pile?
Huh?
What'd you put in this pile?
I just went kind of at random.
I can see that. That's how we trust you. With piles. This is Platoon. I have not seen this movie either. It's Vietnam.
Yeah, it's another Vietnam movie. This was directed by Oliver Stone. This movie got him an Oscar for Best Director. It stars Willem Dafoe, Tom Berenger, who I also think won an Oscar, and a young Charlie Sheen in the days when he was winning. But basically it's about...
And not drinking tiger's blood.
Yeah.
Or at least at the start of Vietnam.
Yeah.
Go on.
But basically this movie's about Charlie Sheen's character. He's a new recruit, and he's been sent to the war. And basically you have 2 different platoon leaders. You have the really nice guy in Willem Dafoe, and you have the asshole in Tom Berenger. And these 2 are constantly conflicting, and they have different groups of soldiers on their sides. And Charlie Sheen basically falls in with Willem Dafoe's group. And Tom Berenger, he's basically got this plot because he wants all these guys on Willem Dafoe's side to be like the guys on his side and just be like these killers, which these guys don't want to do, because Willem Dafoe, he's kind of a guy who's got compassion and heart as a soldier, and he actually cares about these people that Tom Berenger's platoon leader character wants to kill. And so basically the conflict builds and builds up until the end with the final attack on the American soldiers, and it's just a really great movie. If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend it.
Yep, we'll listen to him.
I think we're gonna go with a little Kevin Smith stuff here.
I'm gonna take a nap.
Wake up! Don't you knock my hat off my head?
Don't you touch the leg.
I'll touch the leg if I want to.
Let's get to your Kevin Smith section.
All right.
Let's take a banana on
All right, shut up. All right. Let me grab a drink.
Still didn't spell. Still a little better.
Good. Didn't spell. All right. First up for part of my Kevin Smith collection, this is the classic Clerks. Now, this is the original in black and white, and it introduced the world to Jay and Silent Bob along with the characters Dante and Randall. Now, we would later see Dante and Randall in a couple other Kevin Smith movies, one of them which I'm going to show off. And basically, Jay and Silent Bob you saw in nearly every one of Kevin Smith's first movies. They had like a more like support / lead role in Mallrats. They were only in one scene in Chasing Amy. They had kind of a lead role in Dogma, and then Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, they were the leads. But basically this is about like these two guys. One of them works in a convenience store, the other works in the video store next door. And these two are like best friends. They've been friends since high school, and they do stuff. They're kind of geeks. They talk about like Star Wars and stuff like that. But they play hockey on the roof of the store, crash a funeral. There's all kinds of funny stuff in this movie. If you have not seen this is one I'd recommend picking up.
Twister. Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton.
Good movie.
As the title says, it's a movie about a Twister, and they're chasing and trying to get this device called Dorothy in it. And Bill Paxton's character is married and ends up. She says he had to be with Helen Hunt, and they just get together after they survive a tornado by tying themselves to a cement thing, a melting.
It was like a pipe that was in the ground.
And people got bitch about that scene, like, hey, they want to be killed. It's like, I don't care.
That's because and I'll give this away because I know about this. They used one of them revolving rooms, like in Nightmare on Elm Street. That was how they did that scene, was a revolving room.
I'm not talking about in a real tornado. It's like people. It's a movie. It's like the guy who found out the stars in the Titanic movie were wrong.
Right.
It's like, really? You really have to find that flaw? That's a big flaw?
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
No one's looking up going, what a beautiful night. Glug, glug, glug.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm drowning.
Alright, next up for me is the sequel to Clerks, and that is Clerks II. Now, this is probably my favorite Kevin Smith movie, and it has been announced that Kevin Smith is going to do Clerks 3, and then he's going to retire, but I kind of hope that he doesn't retire, or at least kind of branches off into something else that's actually good. I mean, I love comic book men. I mean, that's like Pawn Stars with comic books to me. I mean, done in Kevin Smith's store. How can you not love that? I mean, if people don't like the movies, I can understand that. But a show like that, that's just awesome if you're a comic book person. But anyways, Clerks 2 takes place 10 years after the first one. We bring back Dante and Randall. And we have here in the middle is their manager at this place they work at called Movies, which is like a fast food restaurant, which we saw in some of the earlier Kevin Smith movies. And anyways, Jay and Silent Bob make their triumphant comeback, and the story was that Jason Mewes, who played Jay, he was a drug addict for a while, for a long time after Clerks, and the only way they were going to do this one is if he got clean, and those were Kevin Smith's words. You get clean, we'll do another movie. He got clean alright, and they did this. He's been sober for 5 years, I think. 5-6 years, something like that, since the time they were doing this movie. But I think that's really good that he's clean and sober now. But I am definitely excited for Clerks 3 when it comes out. I want to see, like, if it picks up after the ending of this one, and then what's going on in their lives now. I think that will just be cool to see as a fan of Clerks.
Empire Records. Cult classic. I know nothing about it.
Oh, great movie. Bunch of kids in a record store. You get like this pseudo celebrity coming in for the day. There's all kinds of different subplots going on in this movie, and you got kind of an all-star cast. I mean, you get Liv Tyler, Renee Zellweger, Anthony LaPaglia from, I think, what show was he on? Criminal Minds?
I guess so.
He was their boss. He's not on the cover.
Oh. What did he play in the movie?
That movie?
Yeah.
He was the boss, Joe.
I can't rightly say.
I think he was on Criminal Minds, if I'm remembering correctly. If anybody out there knows what show Anthony LaPaglia was on, feel free to correct me. I think it was either Criminal Minds or Without a Trace. One of them two, I'm positive it was. If anybody out there knows, just let me know. So leave me a comment or something. Let us know. Now the last one I'm going to show off in my little Kevin Smith vest is the 10th anniversary extended edition of Mallrats. Now this has both the theatrical cut and an extended cut that's stretched into 2 hours. I am glad this has both versions of the movie, and it's just loaded with special features. Now, this was a really cool addition to get, because some of the features are new, and then most of them were ported from the old DVD, but I think it's cool that they gave this like a new extended cut, which I haven't watched yet. I've only watched the theatrical cut. One of these nights I'm going to have to sit down and watch the extended cut and see what I think of it.
The Long Kiss Goodnight. Awesome movie.
Yeah.
Underrated, but awesome.
Very underrated.
About the suburban housewife finds out she's a serial killer, but she lost her memory.
She wasn't a serial killer. She was an assassin for the CIA.
Well, same thing. Government kills people all the time. They just don't want us to know about it.
Right.
Anyhow, she finds out she is a assassin, and at this point in time, she has a husband and a kid.
Yep.
And she gets attacked at home, and the memories start flooding back. And I remember the scene. She takes a pie, slams it in this guy's face, breaks his nose, and he falls down, breaks his neck.
Yep.
It's a really, really good movie.
I remember the part where she takes the Uzi and shoots all them holes in the ice, so they fall through it instead of just landing on it.
Oh yeah.
And that scene where they've got her on the water wheel.
Oh yeah. She gets free and
Comes up shooting.
Oh, I remember they killed the other guy.
Yeah.
And he says he always keeps an extra gun in his pants, and she goes in his pants.
Yep.
Grabs the gun when she comes right back up. Bam, 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 bam. I was like, whoa, that's kind of creepy. But if you're desperate, I guess you go put your hand anywhere.
Desperate times call for desperate measures. Next up for me is another favorite of mine. This is Jodie Foster in The Brave One. Now, this is a very underrated Jodie Foster movie. When it came out, I don't think it did much in the box office, and it kind of got glossed over by a lot of different other stuff that was coming out at that time. But I remember seeing the ads on TV for this, and it was one that I wanted to see. and when it went on sale, I bought it. But basically, Jodie Foster has this fiance. He's played by Naveen Andrews, who was on Lost, and they're going through Central Park one night, and they get mugged, and the fiance dies, and Jodie Foster's character's in a coma for like 3 weeks. Well, she wakes up, they've already buried her fiance, and they go through where she's afraid to go out because she's afraid it'll happen again, and she doesn't leave her apartment for a while, but then when she finally does, everything spooks her at first, and then she finally, like, I want to say maybe like 45 minutes to an hour in, she goes out and buys a gun and starts becoming a vigilante and shooting people. It's a really kick-ass movie. I mean, it's one... I really don't know how to describe this movie all that well. I mean, I just really liked it. It was one that I really, really enjoyed. And it still is one that I can watch just again and again and never get tired of it.
Rat Race. Basically,
Good comedy.
All-star cast, they are on a road trip across America.
Yep.
To win $2 million. Has Seth Green, Whoopi Goldberg, Cuba
Gooding Jr.
John Levis, Amy Smart, John Cecil. It's a good movie. One scene I remember from this movie was Whoopi Goldberg and her long-lost daughter, and they stop at this farm for extra directions, and she wants to buy a pet squirrel.
Yep. Or Cuba Gooding Jr. driving the bus full of Lucy's. Lucy impersonators. They were on their way to an I Love Lucy convention.
Yeah.
He's trying to change the tire, and the Lucys are running off with the spare tire, and it goes rolling off down the highway. Next thing you know, bus tips over, and you hear this chorus of "Wah!" And Cuba starts crying. I couldn't quit laughing at that part.
Yep, been a long time since I saw that movie too.
It's been a long time since I've seen this one. It is Starship Troopers. Now, this was a pretty cool sci-fi movie from Paul Verhoeven, I think is who directed it, who would later go on to direct Hollow Man, and he also directed stuff like RoboCop and Basic Instinct. It's about these giant bugs, and it's in the future, like way, way in the future. I don't know exactly how far, but basically once you get out of high school, you join the army to fight these bugs, and it's one of them that I can't describe. You'd almost have to watch it for yourself to really like see what I'm trying to say or get across, but I enjoyed it. I got into it when I was like probably 15. A friend of mine introduced me to it, and it was one that I just got into and never quit loving.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Oh, such a good movie.
Oh yeah. I want to see it in theaters. He was going, I don't want to go to the theater. I watched the DVD, and I said, no, you're going to the theater. No, I'm not. I dragged him to the theater to watch this movie, and he's thanked me ever since.
Yeah.
That place was packed.
Oh, yeah.
We barely found 2 seats together. One guy was rude to us, and I told him to fuck off.
I know.
And we found 2 seats together, and I went out to get popcorn, and came back, and the movie was awesome.
Yeah.
I have the special edition one, 2 disc, movie uncut,
That's the one I'd like to have.
and 3 different endings for this movie. I believe it was 3. Deleted scenes and all that good stuff.
Yep.
I found that accidentally. I went to Walmart at like 4:30 in the morning because I was bored. I couldn't sleep, and I went there and like, oh my god, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I'll take it. And I have had it since then.
Yep. Alright, next up for me, and I know this movie gets mixed reactions, but it is Avatar. This is the 3-disc what do you call it? Extended Collector's Edition. Comes with 3 different versions of the movie. The original theatrical cut, the re-release, and then the 3-hour cut, which has got like 16 minutes of extra footage. Now, I think nearly everybody has seen this movie by now, so everybody knows what it's about, and that's why I say it's got mixed reactions, because there's people that like it, and then there's people that hate it. I'm one of the people that likes it.
And I hate it.
Yeah, we know that.
No, they don't.
But, like I said, I like this movie. He hates it. Of course, opinions may differ. I know, Ramble Rat for life. He hates this movie. I like it. He likes Inception. I hate that movie. I don't know what else to say about Avatar except I like it. This is our video. These are our opinions.
I'd rather get a prostate exam than watch that movie.
Why do you think I said these are our opinions?
I'm just,
I'm not knocking that you don't like it.
I'm just saying how obvious facts. And here we are, Miami Vice upside down.
No!
It's based on a TV show with Colin Farrell and Jamie Foxx. Not the best movie in the world, but still a decently good movie.
I haven't had the chance to watch it yet, and I like crime movies.
Well, it's basically just do Miami Vice things.
See, I never watched the show. I was too young.
It's a movie version of the show, but
Right.
it doesn't really follow
Doesn't
along
really
the show,
follow the show.
or the fashion or whatever.
Right.
But it's just Colin Farrell.
I know that much, 'cause I watched like the first 15, 20 minutes of it.
I just know I love Colin Farrell too.
Shoot, I like Jamie Foxx. He's cool.
I like his Irish accents. I want to hear him say, "Kiss my Blarney Stone."
Now these next two, I'm going to do them together, but I'm going to show them off one at a time, because they both have John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd in them. Now the first one is 1941. This is from Steven Spielberg, and it was one of his few movies that flopped, but this was one that was nominated for 3 Academy Awards in 79, and this is one, it was a parody of like World War II, and it was days after the attack on Pearl Harbor, and fear of a Japanese invasion throws the city into a state of pandemonium, and you get all kinds of crazy things going on. I mean, it's just hilarious to see. I mean, John Belushi, he's a gung-ho pilot. I don't exactly remember Dan Aykroyd's character. It's been a while since I've seen this movie. I would almost have to watch it again, but I'd have to find the 2.5 hours to actually watch it, because this is actually an extended cut. It's got like 20-something minutes of extra footage added to it. My mom used to have this on tape, and the tape was only 2 hours 4 minutes. This DVD is actually 2 hours and 26 minutes. So they extended this by 22 minutes, and I don't even remember what they put back in. It's been that long since I've watched it. Then I've also got probably their best movie together, The Blues Brothers. This was
That's a good movie.
Yes, it was. This was directed by John Landis, and this is another one where you get all kinds of crazy things happening. My favorite part would have to be the scene with the penguin. She's smacking him with the ruler. Jesus Christ! Are you fucking penguin?
She landed them good.
Yeah. And what I see here, now that I look at it, this is also an extended cut. One of the features includes footage not seen since the original Pickwood preview in 1980. Oh wow. 2 hours 28 minutes. So this was basically extended too. I've never watched this DVD, so I don't know what they added to it. But whatever they added to it will probably be interesting to see.
Oh
Man.
Kevin Bacon.
And Elizabeth Shue.
This was pretty today. Elizabeth Shue.
I know.
Elizabeth Shue. Anyhow. Basically, experiment gone wrong. Man turns invisible. starts killing people.
It's a good movie. With a silly premise, though.
Kind of based on the Invisible Man, but kind of not.
Right.
It's an interesting movie.
It was.
Although, I wonder, did this movie actually do good at the box office?
Yes, it did.
Well, yeah, here's Holovan. So I have nothing really to say about it.
I don't know what else I can say about it that hasn't already been said.
Oh, shiny cover though. Shiny
Yep, it's got
cover.
one of them holofoil covers. That's always cool.
In the back too.
That's a director's cut. Next up, I got another twofer that I'm going to do one at a time. First up, it is the original Freaky Friday. Now, this has Barbara Harris, Jodie Foster, and John Astin in it. Basically, a mother and a daughter, played by Barbara Harris and Jodie Foster, as you can see on the cover. They end up switching places, and Jodie Foster gets trapped in Barbara Harris's body, and Barbara Harris becomes trapped in Jodie Foster's body. And so basically, they have to see how the other one lives, and to like basically get back in their own bodies. And it goes through like a series of different things going on. It's a really funny movie. It's a true classic. It's one that I've enjoyed since I was a kid, and it's one that I can't get enough of.
I agree.
And the second part of my twofer is the Freaky Friday remake with the great Jamie Lee Curtis and the falling star Lindsay Lohan.
And Mark Hamilton's in there.
Huh?
Gibbs.
Oh yeah, Mark Harmon. I forgot about him for a second. This was actually the first time they acted on screen together before NCIS. But they're
ironically also first time they were together as a couple on screen.
Yeah.
Then the second time
because they're supposed to get married in this movie.
They did. Oh, I probably ruined it, but go on.
Basically the same premise as the original. Mother and daughter switch bodies, and they have to see how the other one lives before. But this time it's a spell and
A fortune cookie.
yeah, from a fortune cookie, and
Scene.
it takes time to be reversed because they each have to see how each other lives, and they did it in a really good way. I think they made it really enjoyable, really fun, and this is one of the few movies that I can say that Lindsay Lohan did a really good job in.
Cookie?
Yeah.
Oh,
Is that it?
I remember the scene. The mother and daughter talking in Chinese. They're like, "Mother, we were here yesterday. We got a fortune cookie from your mother. What? And we switched bodies. Oh, hold on. Da-da-da! Da-da-da! They're basically saying, Mother, what you do? Give me a cookie. Switch bodies. Why? And they're fighting about this. And like, oh, everything's fine going. No, it's not. Of course, the one where she's Mark Hamilton was trying to be romantic with her body, and they're talking about their bodies like, oh my God, I'm the crypt keeper.
Yeah.
I beg your pardon. What are you doing? Eat fries? You can't eat fries. Why not? They go straight to your thighs. Oh, yeah, I haven't had one of these in years.
Was that it?
This is a lighter. It is an awesome movie about a lighter and a paper fall in love, but they get burnt at the end. The end.
I guess that is it for us this time around. Well, like we said, that is a random collection video from us. And as you may know, this is all stuff from my collection. But we will be back probably tomorrow with a couple reviews, because a couple days ago I watched Scream 1 and 2 over the course of 2 nights, and I'm going to try and do reviews of those with Chris's help. But we'll be back probably tomorrow. Once again.
And after, and let me say this part.
Go ahead.
After this, after that review, do expect more, just me and just him videos.
Yeah, expect
separate.
more solo videos coming.
Right, because we want to keep you people happy.
Yeah.
And so expect more of those with the next week.
Yep. But once again, this is Little Rocker Cutie 2005, also known as Andre. Chilling like once again with Buffyxenaman, also known as Chris.
Rocking.
Telling you to enjoy life, enjoy some Skittles, enjoy some Starburst, and enjoy those potato chips.